Welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, the show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs use human design to shift from hustle to flow without sacrificing results. Come here to become an unshakable human and build an unshakable business according to your human design. I'm your host, Nicole. Hello and welcome to Unshakable with Human Design, everybody. I'm your host, Nicole. We're here together and we're going to talk about how do you actually use human design in your business? How do you integrate it? How do you use it? Because it's probably the most common question I get is, okay, now what do I do with this? And this is honestly where the rubber meets the road. This is the difference between human design being an interesting, cool, fascinating thing in your life and it being the thing that changes your life, changes your business, that you're actually able to do something with it and see the benefits from it. And the problem that a lot of people have is that they often think that the information is everything. Information is great, but integration is what people will be attracted to you for. Integration is what they will pay you for. Doing the work shall set you free. So I want to break down what that actually looks like. I know we've talked about embodiment here on this show before. We have talked about what it means. We've talked about the importance of it. I'm going to give you an example from a client inside my Business by Design mentorship that this kind of happened recently. And I was like, I should talk about this on the show because it really illustrates the point of what I'm talking about. So we're going to dig into some real specifics around this that'll hopefully paint the picture between embodiment and just knowing stuff about human design or having the answers. Okay. So the first thing that I want to break down is just the power of the mind. And I want you to just notice how much your mind is working, how much it's trying to figure things out, how it is trying to, well, we just end up in this pattern of thinking and overthinking all the time. And that in and of itself is part of the process, is breaking that pattern of thinking all the time. And this is something that I started to take for granted in my life because I didn't realize how much I overthought before and how I've really changed that so much that it's not part of my day-to-day life of overthinking constantly. I catch myself in it so quickly. But really where that comes from is this work that I'm going to share with you, what we're going to talk about in today's episode. I'm going to talk to you about the process for quieting the mind. Human design takes the power away from the mind. Human design puts it back in our body. So what we're doing is we're training ourselves to rely on something different for our decisions to be made. So I don't mull things over in my mind. I sit with them in my body. I'm an emotional authority. So I sit with them in my body. I sit with them in my experience. I go about my life. I'm not thinking about it constantly. And that in and of itself shifts your energy. And I certainly know that this was not how I always was. I was a horrible overthinker. I absolutely got caught with a racing mind and always thinking about things and trying to be right and never wanting to make a mistake and really trying to think my way out of every problem. But honestly, that leads to stress and it leads usually to misalignment. And it does not help you in human design. So when we talk about things like building your genius brand and building your brand and your message and your business according to your human design, that can't happen and you'll probably have a hard time with it if you are in that process and in that pattern of overthinking. It's mostly what keeps people stuck because what they're doing is they're trying to force an outcome or they're trying to force an answer. And then what that typically results in is the not self, your not self theme. So what happens is you might become frustrated, you might become bitter, and usually that comes from pushing yourself to find an answer. That's typically what's happening. And now if you're following design, because this is the first step. So if you're there, it's okay. It's not your fault. This is where everybody starts. But that's why I'm going to give you an example of somebody who's kind of come full circle in my program and to sort of illustrate how this works and why the answers aren't the answer, because she sort of encapsulates all of this. And I'm so excited for her that she stuck with it. So I'm going to share with you what she did and what the habits are. But first, I'm going to kind of break down this process that you might be in right now. So if you're trying to force an outcome or an answer, you're typically going to end up in your not self. That's where everybody starts. What do I do with this? What does this mean? How does this fit into my message? How do these things fit together? Should I do it this way? Is this the right way? Is this the wrong way? Is this a response? All of these things come from your mind trying to get you to an answer, trying to force or manufacture an outcome, okay? And if you can notice it, the second step is noticing that. Can you notice the not self? Can you notice I'm frustrated, I'm bitter, I'm angry, I'm disappointed? Can you start to notice these different not self, whatever your not self theme is, depending on your type? That's the first step, because if you can notice the not self, then you can correct it. You can quickly shift. So it isn't about getting mad at yourself for being in the not self. Now the first step is you just have to notice it. And if you can notice it, you can start to shift it, okay? But if you don't shift it, if you're stuck and you keep trying to force the outcome, then you will get more of the same. The first step is to start to notice it and then to say, I'm forcing. What is making me frustrated right now? What is making me bitter right now? I'm pushing. I'm trying to force an outcome. I'm trying to force an answer. I'm trying to find something. I'm trying to make it work. It's okay to want to make it work. I get it. We want results from the things that we're putting our time and our energy into. But what human design shows us is a new way to approach getting results and getting answers. And the long-term effect is that you get what you're meant for, and it feels a whole lot better. It's much more sustainable. You're not stressed out about the things that you're creating because they feel right, and you know how to care for yourself. This is like a natural self-care kind of process built into human design because you're not putting the result above everything else. You're saying, if I feel this way, then something's off. And if something's off, it's not for me. And if it's not for me, then I can let it go. And that's how you can start to shift into your gifts. But people think that when they get a reading, so I want to talk about answers here. Now, trying to find an answer with human design. What does this gate mean? We're in the middle of my Authority Accelerator Masterclass, the masterclass that I teach a couple times a year. And I teach my formula for human design, building your brand by human design, building your business by human design. I give you what I call the authority matrix. And I give that right to everybody in the masterclass. And if you'd like to join, there's still time to catch the replays. All you have to do is go to NicoleLano.com/masterclass, register there, and we'll send you the replay links right away. Or DM me the word masterclass on Instagram, and we'll send it to you right there in the DMs. You'll get it right there. So if you want to follow along with this and you're interested, then please join. But I give it all to you. I give you that answer. So then people get, what are the key gates? What are the key pieces? What are my key elements, right? That's what they think they want. That's what they think they need. And then they get the name of the gate and they start to dig into it and the answer isn't quite clear to them. So maybe they book a reading with me. And I have I have a couple of different readings, but I have two main readings. I have a foundation reading where it's about how your energy works and all these things. And then I have a business reading where it's like, I'm going to break down your authority matrix for you. And everybody who signs up for my Business by Design mentorship gets that business reading. They get that business reading with me. I break it down all for them. They get a report and they get this whole thing. So I do all that work, right? I answer the questions, right? I'm giving them the answers because I'm telling them. And I break it down. I really don't just tell them like this gate means this. What I'm really doing in those readings is I'm trying to translate, and this is how this could show up as a niche. This is how this could show up as a message. Here's how this could show up. This purpose path could be how this theme of your life could be showing up like this. I really try to translate not just what the gate means and not just what the energy means, but what does it mean for it to be in that placement? What does it mean for it to be in this way for you? And ask good questions and all of that stuff. So I'm giving them the answers, yes. But the answers are so often not the answer. They are the sign that points you in the direction of your path, right? The magic is illuminated when you walk that path. You can read a book about falling in love, but you don't know what falling in love is until you fall in love yourself. You can maybe look at pictures of places online. I remember going to the Sagrada Familia when we went to Barcelona a few years ago. And I had read about it. I heard how it was like one of the 7 wonders of the world, like places to go before you die. It was this magical place. I had seen pictures of it. I thought I knew what I was getting. Nothing could have prepared me for it literally took my breath away. I can be there right now. It's so seared in my experience that I remember walking in, my eyes welling up. I've realized, I was like, this is what it means to have something take your breath away. And I thought to myself, I'm like, this is what I think heaven would feel like. It is so magical. There is no picture, there is no answer, there's no description. There's no way anybody could have captured that than me having that experience for myself, because it means something to me. Someone else is going to have a different experience there. And it's the same thing with your design. Other people have your elements. Other people have your gates, your channels. People have the same birthday. Pink and I have the same birthday. We're both 5'1", Manny Gens with the Cross of Dominion. Same thing. We have a very different life. We are very different people. I'm sure if she and I met, we'd also have some pretty coarse similarities too. But the way that her life and her experience has rolled out is different than mine. So let me talk about my client. My client, now I've been working with her for a while, so she's had all the readings with me. She one-on-one coached with me for a while, and then she joined my Business by Design mentorship. She's currently in the Business by Design mentorship right now. And she recently shared in our group a bunch of like these big aha moments about her incarnation cross, about her niche, about how she helps people, who those people are, what offers, like she got clarity on her offers. And she posted it in our Telegram chat, but then she also did a hot seat and she's sharing with me. And these are opportunities for people to get coached directly by me every single week inside our group. We're in the group and she's telling me things and she's talking and she's like, I see you laughing because I know you told me this a year ago. And I'm like, and I'm laughing, not at her, of course. I adore her. And I'm just so happy she's here now. And I know that the answers are not the answer because I gave her the answers a year ago. I told her all of it a year ago because it really was me listening to the words I said 1 year ago. Told her about the offer, told her about, I'm like, this is what I think it is. I think that it's going to be this type of people. All things that I broke down for her. She just wasn't there yet. So an example of this is you can always interpret these things differently. There are several ways to look at it. I try to give people lots of different examples for how it might show up, how it might relate to their life. And then they take that and they say, oh, this is what it means to me. And usually what happens with a lot of my clients is the niche thing just starts to click in with, oh, I get how I help these people. I get what my niche within this niche is. I get my angle on this because this is what it means to me. This is my history with this. This is my relationship to these themes. All of that usually comes out when people really look at their niche and they really do that connection work. And I give you contemplation questions and all these ways to think about these things and work with them. But once they start to do that work, it starts to become very clear. And then you get real confident, like, this is what I'm here for. This is what my message is. This is how I help. Now, if part of her niche is helping probably overworked people or people who are more in like a traditional work environment, maybe burnt out by that. Maybe they're too focused on old ways of doing things. They are busy without intention. So there's lots of these themes that are happening here. This is also part of her design. It's not only in her niche aspect, but it's in her incarnation cross as well. And part of this. I told her a year ago that this whole idea of being busy without intention, this whole idea of really working smarter, not harder, these are not new concepts, but how it relates to her is going to be how she brings something fresh and new and so fully her to this that people will react differently and be attracted to her for this specific thing. But I told her, I said, well, you haven't embodied the gifts of these yet. You still have work to do here. Because you are a little busy without intention. You still are a little stuck in this race for yourself. You've overcome it in a lot of ways, but I see you getting trapped in it. If you do that work, this is going to become so clear to you. The light bulbs are going to go off. But until then, until you embody the gifts of it, you probably won't be able to sell this with integrity. You're probably going to find that you can't bring yourself to do it, or you do it and it doesn't work. Or something feels off and nothing feels right. You're going to be choosing and filling little blanks with things like, oh, I'm going to market to this type of person, or something's going to be off. You won't really know why because all the answers, it'll feel like you're doing what your design says. But ultimately, when you get into the gift of this, then you have something to serve these people with. And until you're there, you probably won't be clear on how you can help them because you haven't helped yourself yet. So this is my advice, is to focus here. And if you can focus here, and you can lift yourself into these gifts and you can do the work here, I really feel like you're going to understand something that I can't understand for you. So she's done the work, and she's done such tremendous work, and she's really started to dive in, and she's been contemplating and going into the gene keys and asking questions in our group and getting coached and finding where she has been falling out of her alignment. She's become very intentional about where she puts her energy. She's starting to see and value her experience. And that's why she has these ahas. So we're on the call and she's like, I see you laughing because I know, you told me this a year ago. And I'm like, I'm not mad about it. I'm giggling because I love it. I love this stuff. But I knew that this is how it would work out. You just have to do the work to get there, and then light bulbs go off. But so often people are waiting, trying to figure out the answer, that they're not doing the real work. And that's the beauty of human design, because we could say do the work, right? Oh, I got to work on myself. I hate that phrase. I have to work on myself. First of all, what does that mean? Second of all, that just sounds like a project that never gets finished. I'm working on myself. It's like I'm working on my house. The house is going to get old. I'm going to be working on it until the day I die or until we move out. You don't have to work on yourself. It's too broad. But with human design, it tells you, like for her, it was like, if you want to serve people in this way, then this is the thing you need to be focused on first to bring into alignment. So can you notice the shadows of it? Can you notice when you get frustrated? And can you ask yourself these questions that have to do with this thing? It tells you so specifically where your work is and what you need to shift into. And nobody knows how that's going to show up for you. That's the magic of the whole thing. And that's how you bring something so uniquely you, even to something that other people are doing. Work smarter, not harder is not a phrase that's brand new. It is overused. It is absolutely a cliche by now. But if she can bring her own experience to what working smarter, not harder is, and she has that in her offers, and she has that in other aspects of what she brings the rest of her chart, her cross is very much about doing things in very different, innovative ways. So if she can talk about that, if she can talk about these ways that she approaches her business and has approached her life, where she's not caught in the same rat race that the rest of everybody else is, all these people that she wants to help. But now that she's actually slowed down enough to do the work that mattered, rather than letting her mind push her into, because the mind, what people don't realize is how much energy you waste when you're thinking, how much energy that takes up, how just overthinking alone can pull you off your path. You're missing so much. And then you get tired, and then you get frustrated, and that whole pattern will suck the life out of you. So by her actually slowing down and not thinking about it in that way and just getting curious, because we have this strategic work that we do in our businesses. This is why I always say it's not like this linear path necessarily. I'm always going back to my activations. I don't consider my work ever to be done with my human design, with my gene keys. I'm always curious. I'm always gently, silently, and unconsciously contemplating them. The way that it works is that it starts off with a few pieces. You start off and you build from there, and you get cumulative. You start off with your strategy and authority, and that gets you working in alignment for the most part, where you're spending less time in your not self and more time in your signature. You're going to start to magnetize things to you. You're going to start to pull the right things to you. You're going to stop wasting time in areas that don't serve you. You're going to stop overthinking. Your life will change just by doing that. And then you pick up one piece of your design. That's why I give the authority matrix, because there's so much in your human design that people get really overwhelmed. 64 gates, 36 channels, 9 centers, profile. There's so much there. So my point is to focus you on the things that matter the most. These are the heavy hitters. These are the ones that if you focus on these and you work it off, where you work it out, where you've got, like, you start with your conscious sun. Let's start with our conscious sun and let's do the work there. And let's start that process. And then you get that one rolling, right? You've got that one going. Okay, cool. Now maybe you pick up another one. You're still thinking about that conscious sun though. Still in the back of your mind. It's in your experience. You've started that process, and now you pick up another one. This is how I learned to juggle in gym class when I was in elementary school. And you start with scarves. and they start with one scarf, and you throw one and you catch it. And they make you do that for a while, and you have to be able to do it 10 times before they let you add a second scarf. And you keep tossing those scarves, and you're tossing them and tossing. You catch it 10 times in each hand, and then they give you 2. And then they have you cross them. You go throw up 1, 2, catch, catch. 1, 2, catch, catch. You're adding to it. Then you get to your 3rd scarf, and now you're juggling. And then they work you up to bean bags, and then you get bowls, and you get all these different things that you're working your way up, and you're getting better at this so you can add more stuff and you can add harder stuff. It's the same thing. You're learning to juggle. You're learning to change yourself one piece at a time. You're fine-tuning how you've probably, if you've listened to this show for a while, you've heard me talk about tuning those dials. That everything in the chart is like a dial that's turning our energy up to high frequency or low. So if I'm working on the conscious sun, I'm working on that dial and I'm getting that one pretty well set where I don't have to tune that one so much anymore. I catch it so quickly. I've tuned my awareness to it. Like a musician, I can hear when it goes out of tune. That's like the conscious sun. So now I've got the conscious sun one down. Now I'm going to move over. And I'm going to start to maybe look at my entire incarnation cross, or maybe I'm going to look at my conscious Mercury or whatever it is. And I'm going to start to notice these and I'm going to work on that dial and I'm going to get good at hearing that one. Over time, I can tell if the song is out of balance. Over time, I just hear it right away and I can adjust so quickly. And I've learned so much, but I'm living in the high frequency most of the time. But that work to me is never done. I'm always just like, if you tune your guitar, you've got to go back and tune that thing. It's going to fall out of tune. But how quickly can you do it? Is it the first time you tune in the guitar? Or is this something that you do all the time? If you're a guitar tech working with somebody for 40 years, they hand you a guitar, you can go tune that thing in less than a minute. You can have that thing done. Why? Because it's your job. This is our job, is we're tuning ourselves and we are connecting with the highest version of ourselves. That's what this gives us the ability to do. But the work is not to figure out, well, what does this thing mean? It's what does it mean to me? How does it show up in my life? How am I not in alignment with it now? How can I notice when I'm not in alignment with it? How can I start to see this thing and open my eyes to it? Wake up to the fact that it's been here my whole life and really be able to assess from curiosity, not criticism, where am I with this thing? And in the beginning, you might be like, I'm in a good place with it. I guarantee you that there's work to be done everywhere. I haven't met anybody where they're just like, I'm good with all of it. I'm not good with all of it. I'm pretty good, but this has been a lot of work. And it's always work. I'm always looking at it and noticing. I'm aware. And that's all we can be. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope this illustrated some points for how you actually get to use this, that integration is far more important than the information that human design offers. The information is fascinating, but the integration of your design into your life is what changes your life, is what changes your business, is what is going to make you go, aha, oh, I got it. I see how this all works now. Not just that makes sense. It starts with that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. All right. Yeah, I see that. And you'll have a surface level understanding. And then as you do the work and as you contemplate it and as you work with it and as you start to really step into the gifts, then boom, 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 it's going to be like, oh, I totally didn't get it then. I get it now. I get it now. And that's when it becomes easy. That's when it's like, oh, duh. Yeah, that's exactly what I was supposed to be. Okay, I see why this wasn't working. I see how this works now. That's the excitement that comes with this. And that's where the ease and the flow and all of that come from. I hope that this helped you see that. I hope you see your path with it. And if you want to ride along with us in the Authority Accelerator Masterclass, where I break down the whole formula of how to actually integrate this with your offers and to build a podcast from this place, so you're putting your expertise and your authority, you become that inner authority to yourself, but then you put it into the world as your outer authority through a podcast. If you want to take that ride with us in the Authority Accelerator Masterclass, there's still time to catch up with the replays. All you have to do, DM me the word Masterclass on Instagram. I will send you the link right there in the DMs, or go to NicoleLano.com/masterclass and you can register there and we'll send you you'll get an email immediately that gives you the link to the replay so you can jump right in and binge to your heart's content. We have all of this linked up in the show notes for you as well. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. I appreciate you. I will see you in the next episode. Remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thanks for letting us help you become unshakable with human design, everybody. We will see you next time. If you love this episode and you're a fan of the show, please show us the love on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to the show and leave us a review. And if you'd like to connect with other entrepreneurs on their human design journey, join our free Facebook community, Human Design for Entrepreneurs. Go to nicolelano.me/podcast links to join the group, book a human design reading with me, or access our free human design resources. We'll see you there.